You're not making you cry, am I? So, memory lane. This was my home debut against Portugal at Fratton Park. Actually scored a free kick on this game, so brings back lots and lots of great memories. So what happens when you have low nails? Portugal. There we are, just put you there. It's difficult to explain how it felt. I was young, naive, probably didn't understand at the time what it meant. I remember putting the shirt on and before I put it on, looking at it and thinking of all the people that helped me get to that moment where I was finally representing England at senior level. I would like to gas up the goal, like make it sound like it was unbelievable, but to be honest with you, it was a free kick from near the corner flag and I just wrapped it in, but it went central of the goal. The keeper was a little bit smaller than me, so not very tall, and it went for our hands, but I celebrated like crazy as you do. England, Argentina, this was the final group game in the World Cup 2007, so first World Cup for England that we'd qualified for. This game was good and bad for different reasons. So obviously we won 6-1, which helped us get out of the group, but I'd got a yellow card, which was my second yellow card of the group, which meant I would miss the quarterfinals. I had a brave face put on while we went through the celebrations at the end of the game, but deep inside it was literally eating away at me. This was Jill Scott's first goal for England, I'm sure of it, but the goal was a deflected goal. It was so funny because Jill Scott likes to go in for a challenge, and she went in for a challenge, it deflected off her shin and into the back of the net. If I'm wrong, Jill, I apologise, but I'm sure it's this goal. We'll get it up and see if it is, but Jill Scott, there you go.
And have you got any stories about Jill from your time together with England?
Too many. But what I can reveal, you probably wouldn't have seen it in the jungle because you can be messy in the jungle, right, and get away with it, but she is one messy roommate, that is for sure. I'll give you a shout out, Jill. Listen, you've got a shout out. Oh God, this always brings back bad memories. Getting knocked out of a tournament on penalties. You can probably tell by some of the names. We lost to the French. Yeah, really difficult opposition. What I remember about this game is when Jill Scott scored an unbelievable goal, chip from outside the box. We had to defend for our lives, and then to concede 3 minutes from the end of time was literally a sucker punch. I think now we wasn't prepared for this. We wasn't prepared for penalties back in 2011, and I know now it's something that most teams focus on in terms of having the correct routine for individual players, and I think penalties are more about the psychological than anything else. So yeah, I think the Lionesses have individual routines now, so I'm sure they're all good. Colombia, this is 2015 World Cup. This was our, if I'm right in thinking, our second group game. All I can remember about this game really is the fans. We was in a stadium that had the roof over it, and there was about 20,000 Colombia fans, and honestly the stadium was electric. You know what's funny about this, right, is that I was told going into this tournament that I was going to be one of the penalty takers, and the message from the boss was Karen Carney is the main penalty taker, and if Karen doesn't fancy your penalty, Fara, you're taking him. So I was like, okay, I don't get a choice. And Karen Carney actually won the penalty in this game and said to me, did I want to take it? So of course I took the penalty, ran away doing a little baby celebration, and ended up becoming the penalty taker for the rest of the tournament after scoring that one. So thanks, Kaz. Always good to end on a good one. Special game. World Cup, my third World Cup, and finally beating, I know it's got a big question mark, but finally beating the Germans in any game. So we hadn't beat them in friendlies, tournaments, you name it, and I know it took 120 minutes to beat them, but this game is special for that moment, to be able to celebrate in front of the Germans for the first time in literally pretty much my whole career. So my England career was 19.5 years. It took 17 years for me to beat them, and I scored the winning penalty to get us a bronze medal at the 2015 World Cup. So yeah, a really special game for me. Do you know what, it was really mixed emotions, I think, at the end of the tournament. I think we felt we could have gone one better. We were really unlucky against Japan in the semi-final, a freak own goal to see us get knocked out, but to come home with a bronze, it's more remembered than Japan with a silver, who lost to America in the final. Didn't just lose, they got battered, so I think it would have been a different final had we faced the Americans in that year. Happily reveal that we beat the Germans.
And final question, how far do you reckon the Lionesses will go this year?
Difficult. They're obviously European champions, but I think the injuries that they have, I think they're really depleted in certain areas. I think Frank Kirby being the key player that no one's really spoken about that's missing in that squad. Frank Kirby, the one creator in the team, I think is really going to hinder this team. I'm going to put my neck on the line and say we'll get knocked out of the quarterfinals. I pray that we go to the final, but I think we might be a little bit depleted to go all the way. Hopefully I'm wrong, guys. Hopefully I am wrong.